So I was really looking forward to getting back into the prison today. Just like yesterday, we got our visitation pass, we had lunch, and today we were seeing a different part of the prison. We were working in the visitation area in one of the family rooms. I was really surprised when we went in the visitation area, actually. It's huge and it's lovely. It had like a little cafe. There was loads and loads of like toys and a play area for like younger children. You know, it was quite a relaxed environment. It was very nice. The family room we were working in today was quite small and it was very warm in there. Very, very warm. The inmates came in one by one. In comparison to yesterday, we've gone from 8 or 10 to 5. So we've already lost a few members and it's not even the end of the first week. We did inquire as to, you know, like, oh, what's happened to the others? But, you know, there was no definitive answer. It was just sort of like, well, if they wanted to come, they would, which is fair enough. We don't want people there that don't want to be there. As the inmates came in, it was quite uncomfortable because they were taking the piss out of Danny and his appearance. And it wasn't banter, it felt more like bullying. You know, it is bullying when you're sort of making someone feel embarrassed about their appearance and the way they look. I just think it's so uncalled for, and it's not the kind of working environment that we're trying to create. You know, it's not a place of change then. I was so thankful though that Lorraine overheard this and she put a full stop to it. You know, she was like, we're not going to accept bullying in this room. You know, you leave it out there, you know, we don't want to hear it. And the guys were like, okay, yeah, sorry about that. So that was good. I mean, obviously there's going to always be some bantering, but it doesn't have to be so personal. We briefly recapped the personas yesterday. The students had the opportunity to talk about their persona if they so wish. We then jumped straight into the first activity, which was storyboarding. So we used their persona to create a typical journey with pain points along the way where potential crimes might occur. The inmates were shown a presentation. So they were shown like different ways that you can approach the storyboarding, you know, different ways of drawing and whatnot. So I was working with Lee, and we quickly started the task and we quickly ended the task. He was designing out pain points before he was recognising them. So for instance, you know, I'd say to him, oh, but what would happen if, you know, he was biking and he had to get something out of his wallet, you know, what potential crime might happen? And he'd say, oh, well, there's a chain from the bag to the wallet, so that wouldn't happen. And I was saying to him, you know, well, before, you know, you can't design out things before you realise what the problem is. You know, you can't resolve issues till you find them, and the point of the user story is to identify issues, not design them out. But I was surprised at how much yesterday and, you know, the David thing, throwing him off task, affected me, and I was very conscious of what I was saying. I was editing things before I was saying it, and then I was missing opportunities, and I don't think Lee picked up on it at all, but I felt uncomfortable, I felt unnatural, and I didn't know how to redirect him. I just didn't know how to, you know, it's not like I could start drawing on his poster, for instance, so I wasn't sure how to tackle it. But because we finished so early, JW saw this and came over, and he asked Lee to look at his storyboard, and Lee went to explain his storyboard, and JW was like, no, like, I want to see if I understand it for myself. He then asked Lee about his persona, and there was some very obvious discrepancies between the two. And I found it really insightful to see how JW got Lee to a point where he could identify the discrepancies on his own and understand the issues. And he used a technique called the 3 whys, and this is a way to really get to the root of the problem. So you ask a question, and then you ask why, and why again, and why again, and by that point you really pinpoint what is the key issue. So yeah, that was really insightful to see how he did that, and I think that is definitely going to be a technique that I use in the future and in my own design work, because that is a really good way to actually get to the root of the problem. Our final task of the day was bag typologies and card association game. I think everybody enjoyed this. It was a lot of fun. You have 7 cards. They have to be the same colour, and each card has to be something different. So there were lots of different bag components, and it was about getting the men to understand and see what goes into all the different parts of the bag. From these cards, we then drew these elements onto our own bag design to create some sort of anti-theft element. There was a bit of competition involved amongst us all, so it was a fun exercise, and I think everybody enjoyed the task overall. I do think that the family room is a much more sort of better working space. You know, it's more calm, there's not all the chaos around, there's not other inmates coming over and having a nosy, so it was better. It was just really warm, which makes you feel tired. There was one thing as we were leaving, as we went past the teenagers pod, and it's sort of like a little cubbyhole. It's poorly lit, it's a bit dingy, you know, compared to the rest of the visitation room. It wasn't very nice. It did have like a couple of TVs and that, however it was out of order, and I just thought to myself, it must be so difficult for young people to come in and visit their family, and to have a space where they can sort of like disconnect themselves and forget that they are in prison, I think is quite important. And for it to not be open for whatever reason, I just think it's a little bit sad. And yeah, it's something that I'll probably think about further, maybe look at something I want to investigate further down the line. But yeah, overall I left the prison feeling pretty positive and looking forward to next week.